And we're back, everybody. Started off with some light hits to the bag again. But I'll tell you what, folks. This was a hard comeback today. Getting back at it. Yesterday I went to the gym twice. I just kind of got later on in the day and was like, what the fudge am I supposed to do now, And it was like I wasn't really feeling just kind of sitting and watching TV. I didn't feel like browsing around YouTube, and I wanted to rest my creative juices, so I really just kind of didn't do anything until I decided, all right, I'm going to go to the gym again. So I actually didn't record that, but I ended up going to the gym again yesterday, and I did a ton more stuff. Probably most notably, I did an incremental sled push where I started off with 3 plates, worked my way all the way down to just the sled itself. But as you can see here, my little kind of warm-up jogs, after, moving that nuisance of a bleacher, didn't want to scratch at the floors, was pretty careful about it. I'm jogging pretty slow here. And man, it was a hassle. It was like, I didn't really feel like listening to music, but music is, in most cases, what really motivates me to push myself in the gym. But I even had to get over a hump to put my headphones in my ears. But as soon as I kind of got some music pumping through my nervous system, kind of excited the rest of my CNS and my autonomic system was kind of pumped at that point in time. And then my voluntary system was able to really just capitalize on the energy that my cells were receiving, and just heighten my awareness, heighten my focus, heighten my will to overpower the feeling of powerlessness, and to, try to really just push away all those notions of inferiority outside of the gym and just kind of be able to excel somewhere. Trying to just, imagine what it would be like to be I don't know if this is the right word, but immaculate. I almost feel like words of beauty can apply to anything. He did that beautifully. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. And it could be in regards to somebody doing a mundane action. But, to do something immaculate is above and beyond. Kind of just imagining what life would be like if I myself was immaculate. And having that vision within my mindset while I'm here at the gym is pushing me and motivating me to just push myself in this area, because you're never going to win the slots if you're not putting your coins in the machine, you know what I mean? So I'm here putting my coins in the machine, folks. But yeah, you're going to see here in a minute, just how drained I am from yesterday. It's I'm still super sore, and it's not only that, but it's a mental soreness as well, where it's just trying to focus on where I'm at and just be here and be present and push myself, just that is a draining thing as well. And so not only is my body aching from the exertion that I did yesterday, but it's been a mentally draining last little while for me. Just kind of drain myself, hanging out with some people and whatnot, and just, you know what I mean? It's been a long 3 days that I really capitalized on over this last weekend, and just trying to get back in the routine of things, you know what I mean? I guess it was just a Tuesday after a Monday where I got on it on Monday, but then, getting back on it on Tuesday, it just was I'm feeling Monday, and on Monday I was feeling the weekend, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just gonna I was gonna do obliques, but then I didn't really have a good footing. When I do obliques on balls like these, I usually like to have a good footing to post up against, but I didn't really have anything stable. I was pushing up against the box that my camera was on, so I didn't really want to push against, like, up against it. So I just kind of ended up sitting here and just really like kind of like went limp into this pose. And then I was like, hey, that felt pretty good. I'm just going to stretch on my other side then. I'll just balance it out. I'll just go limp on this other side. So that's what I ended up doing, you know. Still trying to wake up, like, even though I've done, you know, a few exercises, like, my mind's just not in that, like, state of being where I just want to, like, conquer the world yet. You know, I'm still working up to that point in time in this video. But don't worry, we're going to get there. Like, I'll eventually get to that point in time. And if you don't want to just stare at me, like, exercising my lower back and, like, butt clenching here for, like, the next 30 seconds, then I don't blame you. But that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? One of the things that I got critiqued for by a good friend of mine a little bit ago was, he said, my lower back, my lumbar region needs work. So I was kind of thinking about that while I was doing this exercise. You know, I'm somebody that accepts critique in, like, all areas of my life. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, you got to filter out critique, which is really just nonsensical. But when somebody does state something which actually does have relevance to, you know, your life and things you're doing, and what they're saying makes sense, you just kind of, you know, got to kind of put aside, like, your own, like, ego a little bit, you know, or how you've been doing it, and just say, all right, like, they have insight into something that I myself overlooked or wasn't able to see. So I'm not going to let pride be my stumbling block here, and I'm going to accept their wisdom and knowledge and incorporate it into my practice. So that's what I was doing. I just want to, like, I feel like I need to, like, I don't know, like, get to where I'm, like, getting pumped every day, because I just feel like my body's, like, too loose. It's like my muscles aren't pushing outwards against my skin. It's like I need to be to where I'm, like, at a constant, like, pump, and to do that I need to find the constant resistance which is adequate for you know, the amount of exertion that I need to get that pump. So just, you know, trying to figure all that out at this point in time in my life. And I'm just messing around right here, people. I don't normally do this exercise. I was just, like, walking around up here in this, like, little CrossFit area because I'm still not quite in the zone yet, you know what I mean? More so just, like, I just kind of thought, hey, if I just went and, like, did a bunch of these exercises, maybe it'll just, like, put me in that mindset, you know? And so I just, like, stumbled across this one. I was like, what the heck is this? And it's like this free form, like, what is it? Abduction or whatever, you know? Extension, leg extension. But not totally free form, because you're using cables and whatnot, but it's a machine. So I thought I'd work it out, you know? I thought I'd try it out. And go over here, and we're going to try something else out as well. Well, I guess this machine's not totally new to me. It's just pretty much just bench, but just cables, like, you know. So we're going to pump out some reps on this. And I'm just mostly just, like, kind of walking up to these machines and just working with the settings that were already on them. And it's just like, oh, I'll just do this. Some of them are like, I get up there and I'm like, who was on this before me, you know? Was it like the Incredible Hulk or something like that? Like, you know? And I'm just like, I just push through it. Like on this right here, this is what I'm talking about. I just, like, got out of here. I was like, who the heck was doing this before I was? Hulk Hogan? Like, nobody, you know what I mean? Like, nobody uses this machine to, like, pull that much weight. Like, that's not even giving you a workout. I have some really big friends, and in all honesty, when they go to the gym, they actually don't lift as much as, like, the people that you see that don't have that great a body. And it's because they focus more on the form of things and, like, mind and muscle connection, like really feeling the muscles that you're trying to, like, work out, and focusing on that connection, you know. And it's kind of, like, weird because they're not the ones that are at the gym, like, pushing up all this weight. Like, realistically, they're just focusing on their form more than anything. So yeah, like, I'm just messing around. I ended up going a little bit lighter right here so I could get some, like, actually good exercises in on this. And I'm finally now working out my obliques. got him rested and stretched out before, so figured that I might as well actually get to it, you know? So that's what I'm doing. Get my obliques. Getting them good. Getting them roasted, nice and toasted, starting to warm up like I'm toasting. Like a piece of toast. You know how it gets warmed up and gets hot, and that's why it toasts? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Really, this is like a really scatterbrained exercise or routine. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm still not like a veteran at this gymnasium. You know, I've been here for like a semester, so it's not like I know where every machine is. Like, for the most part, like, you know, I could probably give somebody a good tour around the facility, but I don't know like all the little hidden gems, you know, like that is what I'm talking about. And so I'm still kind of just like figuring things out, like, and nobody was up here right now, so I just decided, all right, I'll just take this time and I'll just go around and mess around in all these machines. I'll see how each of them feel. There's still a couple machines that I wish they had that they don't, like some like step up, like big old plated shoulder press machines that I can like step down off of and push up on and stuff like that, but whatever. Gonna do some preacher curls right now. And this was another one that I got on where the weight was like pretty heavy, but I just kind of dealt with it. I was just like, all right, well, you know, that's the point in time where being on camera kind of motivates me, because it's like, well, shit, I'm on camera, so I better actually like push it. And I think that girl just like checked me out right there. But regardless of that, I'm cranking these out. But I'm gonna put down the weight so that I can actually get a good exercise in, like I was talking about before, so I can actually really feel the muscles and work on my form, you know, rather than just forcing myself to get that weight up and not working on the muscles that I want to work on, and having my body overcompensate for the fact that the muscles that are supposed to be doing the exercise can't. So it has to enlist like other little helper things, and then you're going to end up building your body in a way which isn't aesthetic, because people are going to be like, whoa, you have like this really big over here, but these are like nowhere near where they should be. And it's probably going to be like that because your body had to overcompensate because you're lifting wrong. So it's always better to lift right and lift light. You know what I mean? Maybe I should come up with a little saying about that. It rhymes, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we're moving on now. I'm starting to get a little bit more warmed up here. As you can see, I'm starting to rock my head to the beats. Gonna chalk up so I can get some grip. Get a grip on my life, you know. If I can grip these bars, folks, have it all under control. Whoa! Boom. He does. Sticks the grip. Gets right up there. Just gonna do some pull-ups. Gonna try to not rock as much as I have been on my pull-ups lately. I feel like I've been kind of cheating on them. And then I'm gonna do some like inverted leg extensions, working on my lower abs. And then I'm gonna do some windmills. Yeah. And man, these were tough for me right now. I really just wasn't having it. Like, my mind, like, so much of it is just your mind. Like, I only do 4. I can usually do 10, and I can usually do 3 sets of 10 of those windmills, but my mind really wasn't having it today. Still trying to get in that mind state. And then, like I said before, you know, listening to that criticism that I received a little bit ago, just gonna try and get that lower back, that lumbar region. If you get that back really good, you can almost make like those muscles on your back look like your abs to a certain degree. Just, you know, really cut up in like a defined and chiseled line of where those muscles travel along the back, extending, you know, from the lower portion of your shoulders all the way to the top of your hips. Like, yeah, from the lower portion of your shoulders to the top of your hips. Like, you can get a really defined, like, you know, rack back there. So, working on that a little bit. And then this is where I kick it up a notch, actually. This is where I get like the best workout of the day in regards to the day. It's been a minute since I've done like rows on a rowing machine. I used to do them like every cardio day, so either Tuesday or Thursday I'd always do the rowing machine. I just really liked it. It was like really engaging for my whole body. And then depending on how hard I push myself and the difficulty setting of the machine, I could get a pretty good sweat going. And I haven't really been able to utilize them at this facility yet because it seems like they're always taken. You know, either that, like they're always taken on the days that I feel like doing them, but then, you know, they're only open on the days that I don't feel at all like doing rows. You know, I probably could work on my form a little bit, you know, here, like actually keeping like it consistent in regards to where my bar is going after I complete the row. And this guy entering the scene right here, his name's Derek. He's like probably been the friendliest dude here to me at this gym. He runs the boot camp class, and I went and did that with him a little bit ago, like 2 weeks ago. Kicked my ass, but I gotta say this much, like I finished the whole class. Like most people that came to the class actually ended up leaving the class like, you know, halfway through, or they got there like while we were like halfway done already. But man, it just like reminded me of like being back in sports and having a coach just really push you further than, you know, you think you could go, because yeah, they're just sitting there kind of watching you, observing you, and they know how far you can go. They know how far somebody can go before they, you know, faint and pass out and stuff like that. So having somebody sit there and observe and watch that and being able to push you further than you think you can go really just emphasizes the point that you're capable of a lot more than you think you are, and it helps you just reach that next level. So yeah, I had a really good class with him, boot camp, kicked my butt. Yeah, so I do this for like 10 more minutes, but it's good though. I maintain, like, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like a 2 minute and 50 second 500 meter row is like my pace here or something like that. I'm not like super into like the sport of rowing. I just kind of do this machine at the gym, so I don't have any idea or inclination as to how that compares to like a good rowing pace. I have no clue, folks. I don't know. But yeah, so just getting like back into the week, but like this week's a doozy because I'm trying to get back into the week, but then after this, like I'm gonna go back home. I do work on some poetry later on today, and I posted some of my poems that I did on YouTube and Instagram, and got a couple approved in some Reddit forums, which is difficult, which I'm glad that I ended up finding some places and figuring out like the proper format to submit things. But Reddit's a lot of work to get things uploaded to. It's like this one poetry forum that I found, it's like you have to review 2 poems from separate people that have posted in the forum, and then link your reviews into your post, into every post that you do. And if you don't do that, and if you don't follow a couple other regulations, then the admins and the bots patrolling the forum will like remove your posts from the forum. So I've had to figure out, you know, kind of like the ins and outs of how to do that. But I got some that stuck, and I actually had one that got upvoted today, so I'm kind of proud of that. I get proud when I get things on Reddit upvoted, more so than a lot of other social media, because it's like the Reddit culture is, I feel like, a lot more judgy and specific and temperamental than like every other internet culture that I've come across. So it's like specifically rewarding to me, or like more rewarding in a sense, when I get things upvoted on Reddit for some reason, just because of that. It's kind of a stupid thought to have though, like just because something's more difficult doesn't mean it's better, you know what I mean? Water takes the easiest pathway possible, and it's literally like the light of the world. So, you know, there goes that saying that the hardest way is definitely the right way, because that which takes the easy way is what literally gives us life. So whatever, you know. But I am getting off the rails here, so we're gonna get back to the day. I was trying to think of the saying. Finally came to my mind. What I was thinking of saying was, I digress. But yeah, we're past that point now, so I'm digressing again. Ha 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 ha. Ho, 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 ho. I'm so funny, folks. But anyways, so yeah, I did some poetry. And I was getting to the fact of where I was going to point out that this week is a doozy. And that's because I just kind of had a long weekend trying to get back into this week, and then all of a sudden Thanksgiving is coming up. So it's like I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go travel with my brother and some of my other family members, extended family, and my parents. And we're going to go and travel and visit my aunt and uncle living in St. George at this moment. And we're going to meet up with some cousins that I haven't seen in a long time. But it's going to be kind of weird for me, because I'm going to be meeting some cousins that I used to babysit. You know what I mean? Like, and they're all grown up now and old. And so it's going to be weird for me, like, meeting them and being like, hey, what's up? Like, I used to change your diapers. I'm not going to say that, but I did. I had some cousins that used to say that to me, and I always thought it was, like, the weirdest thing. Like, okay, you creep. Like, way to rub it in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's weird. You used to look at me naked all the time. I get it, all right? You know? I'm not going to be like that. But yeah, I literally haven't seen this family since, like, I used to babysit them when they were little kids. They moved, like, out east to the East Coast, or, like, kind of like the South. And haven't seen them in a minute, you know? So I'm going to go and see them. And here's a little story about them. Like, I used to go and babysit them, like, you know, looking back at my life through school, like, I enjoyed, like, every bit of school. Like, you hear some people say, like, oh, elementary sucked. Oh, junior high sucked. Oh, high school was the worst. Or, you know what I mean? And then it's like, finally they're in college, and it's like, oh, all these judgy pricks and cliques are gone. But really, they're not. And then they graduate college, and they're like, oh, now you're graduated from, like, you know, preschool. Like, you're welcome to the real world. Like, see you at college. But really, it's just the same. Like, every single level in this hierarchy of life, it's just the same thing, one after another. I think people like to, you know, reinforce their own position in life by saying that they've, like, graduated or whatever. But yeah, anyways, I digress. Getting back to what I was speaking on, the guy that I used to babysit for, my cousin, and my cousins on my mom's side are all way older than I am, because my mother was born while her parents were like 40. So I'm babysitting my cousin's children, and one day he, like, takes me, you know, back home, and on the way back home he's like, oh, I can't, you know what I mean, I can't thank you enough for, like, babysitting my children on Friday and Saturday. Like, I need time to go out with my wife. He's like, I know what it is, like, I know what it's like at your age, and at this time I'm in, like, junior high, 7th, 8th grade, whatever, you know what I mean? He's like, oh yeah, staying out till 3 o'clock every, like, morning, like, out making out with girls, and then the next day going out and making out with other girls. And I was just sitting there, I was like, yeah, dude, like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, what else are you supposed to say in that position when you don't actually do that? I'm just, like, sympathizing with this guy, like, falsely. I'm just like, oh yeah, I know just what it's like, bro. You know what I mean? And the reason I started talking about my experience in school is because I was going to say, like, what my actual social status was. I don't know, I felt like I was pretty, like, transcendent of the borders of, like, groups of individuals. Like, I didn't really see them. I kind of just had friends, and, like, all over the school, and would just kind of just go and talk with whoever, you know? I was always able to see, like, the beauty in each picture that each group painted. You know what I mean? Whether it was, like, goth and, like, the dark and, like, edgy notion of what that group represented, all the way to like jocks and sports, or you know what I mean, like the choir queers and stuff like that. Like I had friends in each of those groups, and like I enjoyed aspects of every, you know, one of those classes of individuals. It's like every picture allows you to see different pictures. I've said that before and I'll say it again, you know, where it's like, look for beauty in something and you're going to see beauty. Look for ugliness in something and you're going to see ugliness, you know, and stare at anything long enough and you'll be able to identify and see each of those things, and everything's going to be ugly, right? So I really did my best to just kind of see that in everything and everyone. And in doing so, I wasn't restricted to just hanging out with a certain group of friends, you know. I was kind of able to just kind of mosey on around throughout the school and just, you know, experience all of them, which I'm grateful for. But I do have a pretty close-knit type group of friends, which I'm grateful for as well. Now we're just going to finish off here by walking around the indoor track, and I'm actually walking the wrong way. On Tuesdays, you're supposed to walk clockwise, but I saw that like on that passing around and I just said screw it, nobody else is on this. Later.